Peace and welcome to Learn, Inspire, Transcend. I'm your host, Taina Elena, and today my guest is a Bronx visionary and music artist who's balancing New York City street grit with spiritual purpose. He's worked with some names in the industry that you may know, such as Styles P, The Lox, and Dave East, but I'll let him tell you some more about that. Welcome, King Joox, to Learn, Inspire, Transcend.
Yeah,
What up, what
yeah.
up?
What up? How we doing? Good to be here.
I'm so happy to have you on the new 2026 lineup for Learn, Inspire, Transcend. Tell us about your journey and what's behind the name of King Joox.
All right, so I actually started out as Joox back in the day. I got the name from one of my brother's friends because I started out rhyming off the inspiration of my older brother.
Mm.
And after a few years of shadow training, putting my work in behind closed doors, I stepped out to spit some bars for him and his friends. And he was like, yo, you going Joox the game? Call him Joox. From there, Joox kind of was the name I took on from there. And, Joox is in the streets, learn to respect the Joox, the famous 50 line. In the streets, a Joox is, take some aggressively. So that's my mindset, I'm very gentle and cool and calm with it, but at the same
Yes.
time, and my mind is Joox, like I'm taking this shit, it's all mine, like, the world is
Right.
mine. And that's the mindset.
So, did you grow up in the Bronx?
Yeah, so I'm from New York, but I've been in different, stops along the way.
Mm.
My parents are Nigerian, so my dad was a Nigerian diplomat, and that's how we got to this country. My mother was 4 months pregnant with me coming over the Atlantic, so it was coming to America style, and I was born in Manhattan, lived in Manhattan, 53rd, by, United Nations and all that. Very regal life, but I don't remember. I was a baby, And then,
Oh, okay.
yeah, my dad, he was only a diplomat for about 3 years. So after them 3 years, he moved to the Bronx. And this is like
Mm.
88 around there.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is a culture shock we're talking about.
Yes, 88.
Yeah, to go from, Nigeria, different lifestyle to come to America right there is crazy. But then to go from Manhattan to go to the Bronx, have to live in the Bronx and the 88 is insane. I can only
Yeah, it's
imagine.
tough. It was tough, yeah.
I identify with the Bronx. I went to elementary school in the Bronx. And then
Mm.
at 10 years old, I moved upstate to Newburgh, New York. And I had a different lifestyle for middle school and high school.
Mm.
My mom wanted to get us out the hood and everything that was crazy. So my mom ended up leaving my father, who didn't want to come upstate with us, his business, which he transitioned to selling African black soap,
Okay.
and also, the African dinner mats and cloths. And, in the 90s, it was very Afrocentric. So he was supplying all that, picture frames and all those kind of things. And he's a prideful man. So he tried actually being a teacher for like a year or two. And he got disrespected by all the kids in the Bronx.
No.
Yo, imagine how they was playing pops, yo. Like, oh, they was doing him filth. I can only imagine. I was too young, but I like to think back and I'm like, oh, that's why, So it's like he got the accent.
Right.
This is the type of African booty scratchers and all that. Hey,
New York is New York has no holds, no holds barred. They don't hold back. Okay.
tell me about it. I can only imagine what he went through in his
Yeah.
journey, in his rite of passage. And so he tried that. He's like, that's not going to work. And then he went into business for himself, had a store. I remember being younger, helping him put the pictures in the frames and go to African markets a couple times in Philly and different spots.
Mm.
Entrepreneur spirit. So instilled in me. I watched him work and make $1, and he did that to his
Hustle.
passing day, yeah, the hustle. So, but yeah, my mother left that situation for her kids.
Mm,
She wanted to get us away from that, that rawness, that the Bronx,
right,
everything
right.
that comes with it.
I believe, being in New York, it definitely shapes you as an artist also, and musically. Growing up in New York, and what type of music shaped you, and also not just artistically but spiritually?
Queen Latifah, you would
Mm,
not see why. That was one
yes,
of the early CDs that was in my house when I was growing up. Tribe Called Quest, award tour. I remember
great.
writing the lyrics down as a kid, just to
Mm-hmm.
just to know the words better. What's the 9310 Infinity? What is that? Shows of Mischief, right? Onyx was definitely big for me. Onyx was big, with the army fatigues and all that. And I was young, I'm thugging out in the streets, what I'm saying, walking to school by myself with my friends, doing dumb things.
So you have a song out right now titled "Fighting the Evils," which feels very intentional. What inspired that track, and what do you mean by evils in that context?
The lyrics were written like maybe 8 months before the song was released. I released
Mm,
it like on 11/11. That was intentional. The 11/11. The hook came after I laid the verses, and I was trying to get the hook. I really didn't have the words, and then when I couldn't get anybody to do that, I was driving around, and it's like angelic, like harmony kind of came to me. That was also like a cry out, and that was the harmony that I ended up singing. And I just put the lyrics to it later. Like I just started, pulled out my phone and wrote a few little lyrics that came to me in that moment. And I knew that I had the makings of something that I felt would be, you know, special for the song. And then I did it, and it came out great. And after the song was done, "Fighting the Evils" was the title because the hook was made, and in it, "Fighting the Evils" was the lyrics that came out of the ethers when I was pulling from the inspiration I had from the melody I had in my heart and mind and the words that I wrote down.
mm.
I've learned to go into the studio and not be so ready. Don't write the lyrics out so much. We come from the era where you come prepared. Always come prepared with your lyrics, memorize it. And I learned that, but then I also had to learn a new way of creating like the next generation does, where it's just flowing, going to the studio and just know that whatever you're gonna make is gonna be the wave for what it is. And they really have this confidence where it's like it's almost like a confidence in the unknown. And if you can trust that,
Mhm.
good things happen. So I did a little bit of both in that song.
Okay.
And yeah, that's how it came together. And the writing process for me is always therapeutic. So
Hmm.
I'm writing in the moments of when the inspiration comes to me to write. But then when I
Okay.
record it, isn't always exactly when I wrote it. Sometimes I feel the rush to have to go into the studio and like
Mm.
lay something down. And usually that's an outside pressure I found later in life. Like, okay, if I have a need to feel like, oh, I gotta drop something now because I feel like whatever deadline the artist makes or any creative
We put in our heads, right?
right?
Right. Why do we do that? We
Yeah,
put the
nobody
pressure on
told us to
ourselves
do it.
all the time.
Thank you. So you get it. Yeah, so I've gone through many cycles of that in life and learned myself through my artistry and my need to create. And I look at that as a mirror to know myself now that I'm,
Yeah.
getting older and
You've learned how to work in the moment and also work when you're outside of yourself sometimes.
exactly. I've learned to
Yeah.
keep a a clock, a watch on what's necessary for everything that's external, but
Hmm.
also pay attention to the eternal and what's inside of me, and know that you can't rush creativity. The baby's not coming out early or because mama got to deal with this load, right? It's like, damn, I got to go through 9 months. If
Right.
you had it your way, it'd be 3. No, it's not.
Right. Next
So
week. Shit. Trying to get this done, yeah.
yeah, that part. So it's like
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's how I look.
Do you feel like the energy you put in your music is something that, since you're speaking this into existence, that is something that can actually come back to you? So you're kind of careful with the things you say in your music?
Always have been, always have been my whole
Yeah.
life. I've always used my writing to express myself and been conscious of what I was writing, like just intuitively knowing that there's something special about writing and hearing things along the years of other artists that talk about, yo, I wrote this, and then, seeing that play out,
Mm,
it's like, oh, okay.
right.
Biggie Ready to Die, it's like
Perfect example.
that's
Yep.
one example of many, 50 Cent, Get
Hmm.
Rich or Die Trying, he got rich, but he always could have died during the try,
Yeah.
and
Right.
created that, and he overcame that, and that's the force of nature that he is. Me, I've been a student to life. I've been a student to hip hop. I've been a student to success. I've been a student to energy. I've been a watcher of all things, and I've spent a good amount of time while waiting. I'm still waiting for my reckoning, for my moment, but I'm learning my moment is now at the
Hmm.
same time. But the moment that I'm speaking on is to the surface
Hmm.
moment that is to myself of being I am and just existing, and that's something that every artist, every creative has to learn for themselves, and what they're waiting for is some big moments. So I cut off and veered off for a moment to express that in real time, because that's how in tune I am with my thoughts and my emotions, and I have to be real to that in real time, no matter
Right.
how it seems to the outside world when I'm speaking, because it is a dance and a conversation that's sincere that we're having right now.
Yeah.
We were talking about words and how powerful
Mhm.
they are when you're writing them. And we talked about
Yes.
50 Cent, and DMX is someone who had to wait very long for his career, like to actually, the world to know who he was. So
Hmm.
afterwards, they're like, yo, we knew DMX for 10 years. He was out here spitting the same lyrics, right? So I'm like a lot past the time of waiting for like that moment with like DMX. So as I'm like waiting in patience for my career and what I have in my mind to be, what it is. I also have to learn that for the moment, that every time I write music, uh, it's personal and it connects to me, and that it's very
Hmm.
special. So
Right.
I can write, I can write my future through my music, and I do so while I'm waiting for it to happen.
It's like
And it's like,
manifesting.
yeah, manifest. It's cool to
Manifesting
see it
through your music,
manifest.
through the words. Listen, I've tested that. I've tested the whole writing down your future. Like I've gone so far as saying, okay, today I woke up on the island and today I'm writing my film, and like just wrote out my whole day. That wasn't my day, but that's the day that I was living in my mind,
Yeah,
and that's the way I like to manifest, is through writing. And I've tested it some ways, and it's come, a lot of things have happened, and I'm like, okay, this works.
yeah,
This works.
it
So
does.
it's very important as an artist, especially if people are going to be listening to it and absorbing that energy that you're putting into it. That's a huge responsibility as an artist.
Big, big responsibility. And I've naturally always felt that even before, like, I knew how big of a responsibility it was. It was like
Yeah.
a natural thing. So I feel
And I
good.
feel like you get blessed for that too.
Yeah, yeah,
Blessings come from that.
yeah. I want
Yeah.
some blessings. I'll take some blessings.
Okay. Keep putting that positive energy out. Keep putting that, uplift the community. Keep giving the kind words that you always do when you meet people. And it's just going to continue to flow to you. That's what's
Appreciate
going to
that.
happen. Yeah, for sure. So, yeah. So, what do you want people to walk away with after listening to your work?
I want people to walk away feeling something. Something. Like whatever the feeling is, provocative is a adjective that
Yeah.
people have used to describe me many times in different ways. I evoke a lot of different kinds of emotions in people. Uh,
Yes.
I'm always up for a healthy debate, not as much lately, trying to reserve my energy. But
Yeah.
as long as you feel something, that's good, because that means I'm shaking up the norm. I'm just about not having things be just normal. I'm always
Yeah.
trying to push it to the next, level. So when I meet people, I'm always giving them some kind of words to inspire them to push them to the next level. I'm not just gonna
Hmm.
just pull up and just chill and not say nothing. And if I'm
Right.
being quiet, it's because it's out of respect. But really, what I want to do is like, yo, let's level up. Let's get to what we got to get to. I'm here for you, for however I can be here for you in the moment. If it's in a good conversation that opens up
Yeah.
your mind and helps you move forward in a
Hmm.
great direction, then that's what we're here for each other.
Absolutely. That's beautiful. I love that. See, I like to surround myself with people like that because I've learned that I can't be around certain types of energy. I can't deal with it. Even, I don't think I'm at the level of your patience yet because you said you have patience. I don't think I'm there yet. And that's the thing that you have to acknowledge when you're growing,
Hmm.
that, what your limits are and where you're at. But I would say this year for me, I've learned about what you're saying about transmuting energy. I've learned that I've scattered my energy in so many different places that I need to like zone in on what it is that's I need to do for myself. So I think
Very
that us
important.
meeting and you being on this show has so much to do with my path and where I'm going. I'm really looking forward to where you go from here, for
I
sure.
feel grateful that you said that because that's some acknowledgement on camera. So all the people around me that be hating will be acting like I don't be having some kind of aura to me now. Now I got someone that doesn't know me saying that it connects to the path of the energy flow, and I'm gonna keep a that I'm
Absolutely.
gonna keep a data bank of that, and then eventually I'll be a spiritual guru, and I'll sit
Yes,
on top of a mountain, and if you're willing to go up the mountain, you could chop it up. Other than that, I'll be chilling. That's what I really
right.
want from life. I'm peaceful, like
Yeah.
so peaceful.
That's
Pop.
something you can't buy. You can't buy peace.
Hmm.
And there's a lot of people who wonder, like, why are you so chill? Like, why are you so, what are you doing that you're so chill? Listen, it's a
Yeah,
personal journey. And if,
yeah.
you gotta get on it.
You got to fight for your peace though. When you're
That's
like, depending on
not
what you're
easy.
going after. In the world that
Mm-hmm.
we're in, you definitely have to fight for your peace. And it's like I got two
Now more than
sides
ever.
to me. I'm a
Yeah.
warrior, and then I'm very, very peaceful on my monk. Vibes and just kind of being calm. So I want to be able to be calm more. I'm
Yeah.
fighting for as an artist to create in real time, especially, true art that's
Yeah.
raw and real to expression, not propped up, art. There's a lot of that going on right now. So
Yeah. Is there a moment in your life that forced you to grow in a way that you just didn't feel ready for?
yeah, speaking of it, today's the passing of my mother's the anniversary.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear
Her
that.
passing was definitely a moment where I had to choose to grow, and not fold to emotions that would, drag me down a negative path. And that's a choice everybody has to make every day. But when it comes to something like the passing of your mother and how you choose to take that energy, um, I had to grow, and I grew in what I know to be a beautiful way, because I'm still carrying that love for her and that emotion and transmuting it in positivity and creativity, and
Yes.
as a story to other people around me who have lost their mothers later in life. And it's like I'm a veteran at this. This is a 13, 14 years of knowing how to deal with it, and people that meet me will think it just happened, and that's because that's the honor that I keep to keep her alive. Like that Disney movie, forgot the name of it, but it just speaks about like remembrance. So it's about honoring always and keeping that alive. And the more you do that, the more you get empowered, and it's better than feeling sorrow and sadness. Like, why do that? You got to celebrate.
They still live with us. They still around. That energy does not die. That energy is always with us,
Fact.
for sure.
Yeah, so I keep that.
So, God bless Mama.
Yes,
Rest in
yeah, she
peace.
was a G. She was a G.
Yeah.
Definitely was a G.
Clearly, from what you're telling me, yeah,
Yeah, she did it.
a warrior.
Yeah, she prayed a lot. She prayed a lot, and she also she became a
Mm,
nurse just to get her kids, out the ghetto. It was working, and I like to like look at life through her eyes, Now,
Mm-hmm.
when you're young, I'm outside the house, I'm running around, I'm doing what I'm doing. You're not paying attention, and then they're gone. So you got, I guess, when people listen to this interview or watch this interview, take what I'm saying about my mother and just internalize it. Not too much. Don't get too sad.
Yeah.
Smile about it, but think about the fact that we're around people we love every day, and you never know when they're gonna leave.
Mm-hmm.
So you better do everything you can to show how you love them and express that love for them in real time, because it's limited.
Absolutely.
Time is a very, very precious commodity, or asset, rather, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
Use it in love. And I loved my mother as much as I can, and I was running around outside. You don't know when you're young, right? Especially with your mother, you be like, get away from me, yo. You know what I'm saying? And I
Right.
wasn't really like that, but I was just gone. And I also kept her very precious. I didn't let too many people get next to the queen, like I knew she was
Yes.
special, and I never knew how wise she was, because she had the
Mm.
accent, and I was born in the States. So, like, sometimes people may think that people ain't. She was very wise. So
Yes.
yeah, gotta honor.
I see her in you.
Thank you.
I see her in you, and that's she's done her job. So, gosh, let me gather myself
I
again.
know it's a lot. I hit you with a power love bomb from the heart. Like,
Yeah.
that's energy, and it's her day, and
Yeah.
so that's something different. But I think I've done well of harnessing that and being able to express it for something for the world to do, because that's what, if anything, let her life be for that.
Right.
Get it? Like, and that's what I do.
What an honor. My goodness.
Yeah. I'm gonna do a nonprofit for her. You know what I'm saying? Get that done. It's gonna be called Beauty's Grace Foundation. We're gonna get kids
Beauty's
from
grace.
Africa, over here to the States, and vice versa, kids from the States over to Africa, getting experiences, so that it can open up their minds. Because I got to do that when I was younger. So,
Mm-hmm.
things that shape who I am, I just want to pay it forward and give other people, especially the
Mm.
youth, an opportunity when they're young to shape their perspectives.
I love that. I love that you want to include community and keep that spirit alive. So talk to me about who you worked with. I know you've done some directing. You are a content creator as well. You're working on a podcast now. Just give me the lay down. Give me everything that you're doing right now.
No disrespect to the content creators, but I'm not a content creator.
Okay, no content created.
Block it. Bow, bow, bow. No content creation. No disrespect. I'm linked with them, but I'm not a content creator. You know what I like. I've stumbled upon an artist is never content. So why would I
Mm,
make content?
true,
We
true.
we make art, and I believe that we need to stand on the fact that we make art and not let the social paradigms force us to use language that defines us off center of who we really are. So I do that sometimes to annoyance, but the world don't know me yet, but they better get used to me. So I might as well speak up
Hmm.
on that every moment that I get. We are artists. I consider you an artist. In the brief time that I've met you, I can see that you are sincere about everything that you do. So
Oh,
even in our conversation, it's going to be different. And
right.
that's what's that. But when it's time to make content, I'll make content. But that's not what
Yeah.
I usually make right now. What
Right.
I've always made is art, and eventually I'll make content. Even the podcast is art.
Right.
It's an
Everything is
extension of
art.
us.
Of course.
Yeah, if you define it as such, it shows to be such. But you got to define
Yeah,
it first. It's on you to define it.
absolutely.
But yeah,
Content comes from the artist.
yeah. Who I've worked with along the path of being an artist, I knew that being a rapper is not really a safe occupation. Like, and I don't mean as far as danger. I mean as even being able to make it successfully as a rapper. Like, so you better find different avenues. And so I started shooting music videos and doing other things to, like, just stay around the art. Something like a gym teacher with us, that can't play ball, but they still want to be around basketball, so they go into being a shit like that. That's how I think, logical. So it's like, all right, let me film videos. I got into that early when YouTube was still kicking off, and then got a camera, right after my mom passed with some of her money that I got for her life insurance. Bob, let's see. Holds me down. I gotta always loop it back in one more time. That's a day. She gonna be happy. But
That's right.
so yeah, got a camera, and then I got my first sale for a music video with an artist around my way in the Bronx, cause and then I shot that video, got paid for it, and I opened up a whole nother revenue stream and a way to stay around the culture while getting paid for it and build my brand up that way. So
Nice.
been shooting videos for up and coming artists and some known artists for over 10 years. I've worked with Styles P. I was shooting for my son early in the day. That's one of the big names I was doing before he was in the activist stuff. When
Mm.
he came home, I was doing videos for him. There's some good videos. I got a bunch of stuff when World Star was the thing. You know,
Boy,
yeah, that's it. World Star era, you heard? I was outside
girls.
all day. World Star. Word. So I was getting busy during that era, and then I got with D Block and Styles P and shot for him, and then started working with Chic and did some stuff for the Locks here and there, and um yeah, and then utilized those relationships to get some music. And one day Chic, I was shooting something for Chic, and he just came in like, "Yo, I didn't know you rap," because I'll be
Mm.
kind of low key with it for the most part. Me and Styles have a little bit different relationship. I've known him longer, so like Sheik didn't know I rap, but Styles did. He's just great, the way he works with the underground and gives people opportunities to build. If you are who you are, and like that's cool. So Sheik, he was like, "Yo, I didn't know you rap." I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yo, man, we could work." Da da da. So, matter of fact, I got something for you. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, he gave me a verse. On the music side, I've worked with Sheik on that too.
So what's next for you? What's next for, like, I know you have this song out, Fighting the Evils. If you could tell us a little bit about what's next for you and what's something that you're proud of that nobody really sees.
I would
Yeah.
say my patience.
Wow. That's big.
Yeah, I would say my patience. I got a I got a lot of patience that no one would ever know because of everything that I see that I can't necessarily express because and it still comes out crazy sometimes, like, but I got a lot of patience for life. I think that's
Mm,
what kept me preserved for so long and allows
right.
me to make the music I make. I got a lot of patience in different ways that no one would ever know. And I appreciate my own patience, and I take acknowledgement to it. Maybe because sometimes people don't. So inside I know who I am, and it's like, okay. So yeah.
That's a big thing. Patience is huge because I've seen some people who don't have the patience and they kind of ruin their opportunities, you know what I mean? And would you say, like, being spiritual and like having that connection with source, that it kind of keeps you grounded in
Yeah,
those moments when you need to have patience in situations?
yeah, I would say so. I would say so. And I'm still dedicated and married to patience. It's a lifetime.
Mm,
So it's like you keep revisiting yourself and saying, okay, how can I get even more patient?
yeah.
And just keep going. So what's next for me is the podcast space that I'm about to get into.
Yes. Tell us about that.
It's called the Silent Game podcast,
Okay.
right? I'm going to be speaking about the subliminal world, the underneath,
Mm,
the shadow realms, the everything that's not said, how to navigate that, the silence, and
mm-hmm.
also how to quiet that silence and make it your friend. Because I like to say the silence is louder than the noise, and people like to turn things on and to distract them from the silence, which is actually very loud if you're not used to it. So
Mm-hmm.
run from that, and I want to make it not so scary for people. So I'm gonna do that in different ways through streams of consciousness, how to deal with awkward silence and know what's actually happening. Because like life is a game, and that's why I call it the Silent Game podcast. And if you're not playing it, it's gonna play you. And it's like you might as well play it your way to win.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like if you understand strategy, which life is about strategy, and games
It
are
is.
about strategy, then you realize that life is actually a game. And if you treat it like that, you might have a little more fun with it. And you can
Right.
strategize and not take it so personal when it feels personal, and it will feel
Goes
personal
like
a
this.
lot. Ups and
Goes like
downs.
this constantly. You just gotta ride it. Okay, we gonna do this way. We gonna go that way. We gonna.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
got me in the blender right now. Oh yeah, I'm cooked, man. Not
Yeah.
fair, but it's all right. Now life
Yeah.
is life, right? I like to say you pay your fare for the ride.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that's what I'm doing. I want to give a space to give people that. Other than that, interviews with people that I know I've come across with in life in different ways, and then really just going spontaneous,
Yeah. I
like and
love that.
figure that out from there. I don't really know.
I love that. I feel like you're gonna have a lot of wisdom for people through that podcast.
Yeah, it's definitely about wisdom, giving them some tactics,
Yes.
and tools for the day, and
Right. Right.
also shifting energy. I came
Mm-hmm.
up with a term. My title is Director of Energy, and I'm looking to
Director of
direct,
energy.
yeah, and move the energy where it needs to go for growth. Because I feel like it's very stagnated in the airwaves everywhere. If you vote for me, I will step into
Sure.
office and bring a different structure to hip hop community because it needs that shit. That's how.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just having some fun with it.
There's definitely a shift in hip hop right now. I've
Yeah,
seen a lot of artists coming out, more positive coming out of it, which is needed.
yeah, it's
That's why
definitely
when I heard your song, when I heard Fighting the Evils, I was like, who's that?
yeah,
Like, first of all, the flow, like the beat with your flow on it, I was like, okay. Is there a book that changed your life? Have you read
oh
any
man,
books?
books have been the theme. I don't read books. I was actually debating with someone in the studio about books and the importance of
Mm.
books and how important they are depending on who you are.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say that a book really changed my life unless I was like saying Cat in the Hat, something like that. Like I learned. Nah, I just talk to people and live life.
Mm.
Yeah, kind of got that kind of mind. I don't really got to read. I just retain information
Yeah.
from people that read books, and they're really smart, and intelligent. So I just listen to
Right.
them and take that information and apply that to life and keep it
Right.
pushing.
There's some books that I've come across, like in my spiritual journey, right, where I it just confirmed what I've been going through.
Exactly. Oh, not to cut your wisdom. See, as soon as
Yes.
you said that, it made me humble myself and say, "Yo, shut up." There is a book. There's at least one. I talk to myself sometimes, but in a good way. Like talking to himself. I'm just Gemini. There's two of us.
Mm-hmm. Come
So
on, come out.
there's a word, right? There's a book from the life you were born to lead. It's like a numerology book. Yeah, it's a numerology book. And when I was like 2021, my homegirl, Lauren Cruz, she actually gave me this book. And when I read it, I realized the power of numbers and like how they mean something. And some people will
Mm-hmm.
just think numbers is just used for just counting money and things of that nature. But people have no clue how powerful numbers are, how much
Yes.
information and data is stored in numbers. And I started to understand life deeper once I got introduced to numerology and that book. So shout out Lauren Cruz.
It's funny because I was talking about this with my homegirl the other day, and I was telling her I can't remember a time where I wasn't seeing like synchronization and like certain signs, it just happened one year. Like it was like, damn, why I keep seeing 4, 4, 12, 12, 11, 11, 3, 3, 3. It's like everywhere. And it's there'll be a day where it's all day is doing that all day. And then there's times where it's just random or I'm thinking about something. I'm like 555, 222. I'm like, what does this mean? Why do I it was just a shift that happened. I had to recognize it. And then I started doing my research on like what's going on, what is this? And that's how I got to learn about the numerology stuff and synchronization and all of that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Like
how it happens. A lot of people don't pay attention to that, but it's a
coming.
guide, huh?
I said I feel like it's becoming more common.
Now, yes. Well, there's
Brown,
an awakening
11
happening. So,
song and all that. Like,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think I might have been a little early on it, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people actually talk about synchronicities a lot more in the last like
Oh,
5
yes.
years.
It's
So
very prominent now. It's just it's there, and you
yeah,
can't. It's hard to ignore it now for some reason. We'll learn what it's all about at some point, right? But as long as we're paying attention, it's good. It's good. Let us know where we can follow you and how we can support you.
all right. So y'all can go check out my Instagram. It's Joox Nation. That's Joox Nation. You can also go follow the podcast page. That's the Silent Game Pod. Yeah, leave it at that right now.
King Joox showed us what learning looks like when you stay open, reminding us that elevation doesn't require perfection, just intention. His journey shows that even when you're fighting the evils outside and within, you can still choose purpose, still choose vision, and still choose to rise. His story is proof that transcendence is not a destination, it's the courage to keep becoming.
Beautiful.
So thank you so much, King Joox, for being on Learn, Inspire, Transcend. I look forward to seeing where you're going, and I'm definitely going to be supporting you along the way. So yeah, thank
Thank
you.